Guys, welcome back to my YouTube. How are you? Long time no see. I love you. I hope you are doing good. So in this segment, I've been talking about my journey, my healing journey, my spiritual journey, just a lot of stuff I've been through, and hopes to help others, you know what I mean, in their journey, or if they're just starting a spiritual journey, or healing, or just anything they may be going through that my story might, resonate with. Okay. But yeah, so right now I've been talking about my narcissist, all this stuff that I've been through in my past, and healed from, involved from, and God does heal broken hearts, you guys. I want you to know that. I don't know, like, on your situation or what you're going through on your side, but again, I hope my journey heals. This is a lot. I'm just like learning to do the videos and topics and stuff like that, but I have so much, wisdom and knowledge and great advice. You know what I mean? Again, this is everything I've been through, so I'm speaking from passion, speaking from everything that I've been through. I overcame and I conquered, you guys. And again, I went share again on a healing journey for 15 half years, going more, and now, I've broken so much major generational curses. I've healed a huge thing in my bloodline, a lot of, holes and I had in myself. And so again, I'm just speaking about that. So, but I want to talk about right now, in this video about, I learned one thing about mastering to love yourself, you guys. And no matter what, and again, when you're someone like me, like I'll just share some of my stories and stuff like that as I continue sharing, you attract again, also other people to that, insecurities and jealousy. And we're going to go and talk about that. You know what I mean? A lot of that played out in my narc story. Again, I learned about this narcissism, this spiritual connection that I was in. It was more about learning, lessons in it. Okay. And just growing and evolving. So I learned so much, and and I want to speak about that, and I'm just thankful to be where I'm at. Again, I went through a lot of pain. So a woman that's gone through so much and so much pain, like she could care, you know what I mean? Like less, and like just someone you don't want to mess with. Okay. Anyways. And so, like I said, pain that will knock somebody out. Okay. And still, that's a whole nother story. See, I get a little emotional still. Again, out of the heart flows issues of life. And, and that's how you could see where, real pain. Okay. And these are like, when I do talk about it, I still have those tears is, real tears. Okay. It's crazy, and just, I'm just thankful, God has me here and for more purpose. And so I love you guys. I really genuinely do. I don't know, thank you for your love and support. Please don't forget to like and follow and share, if this touches you in any way, Lord, I'm so used to praying so much. I'm like, Lord, you know what I mean? I'm constant. We'll get to more videos of that, you guys. I have so much to share. Sometimes I get so anxiety. I want to get it all at once. So please forgive me as I get organized, you know what I mean, in my, process and sharing these videos, because I could share a topic, and I've been learning. My other friends have been helping me writing these down and talking about it, and then, keep it on that topic and then going to the next one. Okay. It's another area of growth, you guys. I'm growing in here. So thank you for your love and support, and thank you for your kindness and your help, and those that are real, genuine, and people, I love feedback, that are real and genuine. And thank you so much, you guys. And I've grown so much too, and been out in the fields gleaning, again, I started my journey in 2010, which I'm thankful. I was 26 years old, just to recap. And that's when I, lost my mother, and I was so broken, you guys, and I was going down the same path, and so that's when God, led me down, hey, you need to go down this path, and led me to start my journey and surrender my life to him and find him in a relationship. And that was like 15 and a half years ago. And I did. And I broke so much milestones in my life. If you guys would have met me then and now, it's like two different people, and I've grown. Of course, that's what's life, right? You're growing and you're evolving. Hopefully you're growing to the best self, and that's what, when I lost my mom and all these things, that I had to let go, and I saw her life, and I saw, what she went through. I just wanted better for myself, and I did that. And you have to choose that in your life. No one can do that for you. And so I chose that for my life, and here I am in my healed, evolved energy. And I hope this helps you guys. And I continue. You probably see me even go more. I'm like, God's like, I'm going to even take you higher, and And that's, you know, I've been through a lot of pain, so that I chose to turn my pain, alchemize that pain, and turn it into power, you guys. And this is where, you know, I am here to spread love and light and teach and help people how to alchemize their pain, you know what I mean? And instead of, you know, like I hear my stories and stuff like that, how people treat me. And that's not, you know, a good way to treat people, you know what I mean? And again, I said, I still even like still feel like that pain, you know, and I still get my eyes watery and stuff. But yeah, I have made it how do you say it? I've determined myself to, you know, become what you want to see in this world, you know. And I remember when I was going through all this stuff in my path in this past 15 years, and I didn't like that, and so I made it I was determined to not be like that in my life and to show the opposite. And it's like that ripple effect, you know what I mean? If I could touch this person, then that person will be changed, you know, and then they could go change other people, and they could share their love and get them saying it's like that ripple effect, you know. And I really believed in that, and that's what happened. And then I turned very powerful. I become a very powerful woman, and very powerful being in who I am, and love who I am, and very confident in who I am. And it's a subtle confidence. It's like I still have pain. I still, you know, I don't still have pain. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's like my pain, you have no choice when you go through pain. If anybody's ever gone through some painful stuff that will just try to wipe you out, you know what I mean? You have no choice to sink or to swim, you know what I mean? What I mean by getting back up and turn that something and force yourself through that pain, you know what I mean? And it's hard, you guys. And again, I still, like, I went through this purifying. You got to be pure from my heart. So I'm very pure, you guys. And so when I share this, you know, it's not always going to be sensitive, you know what I mean? But I could still feel some of this stuff that I hear, you know, my eyes get watery, my heart and stuff. And so, and I'm still here, and I'm still bringing love and light in this world. And that's how I just see, you know what I mean? Like I shared before, if you want, what is it you want to see in this world? You have to become that first. You know what I mean? You literally have to become that in your life. And that's what I see. And that's when then you start seeing around you everything. You're magnetizing, you're right, because you're manifesting that in your life. And I choose that in my life. You know, I choose healthy, whole relationships, positivity, love, the same love I give myself. I want that in return. And you deserve that. And I went through a process to be where I'm at today. And I deserve every fucking bit of it. And so now the universe is producing that. And anybody low vibrational, minimal, people that have, you know, insecurity, jealousy, projection, that has to do with them. But it's not okay to project your nasty energy on other people. I'm very firm, like I'm trying to do the Lord led me to a whole another direction. But again, and you know, we all see that in our lives everywhere we go, like especially if you're a very big light like me. And again, this is where you learn through all this pain to become the most confident being. And like I said, I have so many, you know, we'll get to more and share. I shared a little bit so far in my videos, you know, and I'm just really digging into my passion, you guys. And I'm just very passionate about, you know, what I've been through, and I see it a lot in the world too. And so here I am, you know, and I made it, how can you say that word? A passion of mine and the determination to see that in this world. You know what I mean? And it's like, your mind is powerful, okay, guys? And I'm a powerful manifestor. I learned that by myself. But when you have a pure heart and you're doing good, you can manifest anything, okay? Not evil or dark, you know what I mean? But like a pure doing righteous, you know what I mean? And I have a righteous life, not a perfect life, a righteous life. And I try to bring love and light in this world. And yeah, I just go in this world trying to make one person at a time feel just amazing and loved, okay? And I really believe that there's so much power in that, you guys. And sometimes I'll get to run into him again. I was like, oh my God, right? And remember, it's expressions. What you, and that's a whole nother video I want to do about ministry. But who you are is a representation, you know what I mean? If you want someone to think of you nasty, ugly, you don't want to be around them, again, I'll share my not sorry, but and you gave me that impression of you, now people are going to avoid you, people are going to not, you know what I mean? Versus me, where people always want to be around, loving energy. Like I said, the narc, we're going to share another story on our next video we're going to do about how they can't let go, right? Why can't they let go? Because you fucking treat them so fucking good, okay? And they treated you the opposite. See, that's how easy it is to let go of them, because they treat you so nasty and it's like, ew, I don't want that. You know what I mean? It's so easy for the other person to let that person go. But it's hard for the narc to let go because you treated them the opposite, right? That was my vow. And not just that, not just to be mean or anything like that, but truth is like, and you made an impact. Like I said, I know who I am. I make powerful impacts, whether people share it or not. I make impacts on my enemies. I make impact on so many people because God's really taught me how to love. That's the number one thing. If you cannot love people, I'm telling you, and you have to learn to love yourself before you could genuinely go out in this world and make a difference. You really have to master yourself and love yourself in this world. Because when you love yourself, I mean, you could go out there and love everybody else like you love yourself. You get what I'm saying? And my love is powerful. I mean, I go around one person and God will sense if some of this person, whatever that may be going through, whatever, and I could just lay hands and not even 5 minutes and make their fucking world. Because that's how powerful I trained myself. You get what I'm saying? People don't forget about me in a good way. Anyways, I don't know why that came up. Again, I'm letting the Holy Spirit lead me, okay? But anyways, one of the things is what we call it as an earth angel. I learned that about myself, during my journey and everything, and is a term often used in a spiritual and New Age context to describe a person who is exceptionally kind, compassionate, and helpful, often with a strong desire to spread positivity and love. It's really cool when you go on this journey of self-love and, finding yourself, and then just seeing you are. Remember, energy don't lie, people do, okay? Narc story again. I love that stuff, right? People. Anyways, but those are, again, we're going to talk a lot more about that, you guys, about people, and their insecurities and things that they have to heal in their life. And when you get really high vibrational, you don't take it personal no more. You know what I mean? Like, in the beginning of your journey, you have, and I think I have, I wasn't healed and stuff like that. And, it could break you and it could hurt you, and words do hurt, okay? And, but once you heal and evolve and get to this point, you know what I mean? Like, you just, you see bigger, you see, it's why it doesn't affect you anymore. It's like, wow, I'm sorry you feel that way about yourself, but that's not how I feel about myself, okay? Anyways, and then there's whole nother video we could talk about, God, so much, okay? They are seen as having a deep connection to the divine, Jesus. Me and him like this. I developed a huge relationship. I didn't have one when I first came to him, guys. I worked really hard to develop one and to learn and this relationship and to learn about God and learn, not religion, God, relationship, okay? We'll talk about that more. They are seen to have a deep connection to the divine and a desire to serve others. See, when you're really deep, in your gifts and stuff like that. Sometimes described as having a mission to bring light and healing to the world. I mean, you see when you go through this healing journey and you find out all the stuff that you're doing, those are all me. And so even in the darkest moments, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm just proud of who I become, you guys. Like, I can't say it enough, and I worked really hard. And if healing was easy, everybody would be doing it, okay? I did that. And while have nasty people be, nasty people, and a lot of, or this little group, narcissism, you know what I mean? And so we'll get more of that, and again, like I said, in my journey, I've forgiven these people so much because I'm a divine being. We forgive. That's what we're called to do. It's in our blood, you know what I mean? And so, but whatever God does in their life, we reap what we sow. So that's between them. God has to teach people lessons in their own life, their own way. You could try to help people, you guys. Like, I tried genuinely, like, in this decision to help people, and people don't want that. They can't force that. You know what I mean? You gotta let them learn their own way. Does it mean you're ever gonna be back in their life, or depending on the situation, or people hurt you, and you're genuine and you're trying to help them, if God ever allows them back in your life or not, okay? But that's between God and them. You know what I mean? But anyways, but people have to learn their own self, you know what I mean? Like, and it's sad, right? We all go through things, and some people, they just really have to go through it themselves, you know what I mean? And but anyways, that's what I said, when help is not wanted, leave it alone. Doesn't mean I'm gonna help, and we'll talk about that more now. Sometimes God will teach people and he does not want you to help them whatsoever, okay guys? Because God is sowing back into them and teaching them between them two, you know what I mean? Whatever God's teaching them, if they have to go through pain, especially if someone does you dirty or hurts you in a really horrible way, you do not ever help them. You let them go through what they need to go through with God. God's going to teach them pain and teach them whatever they need to learn. You know what I mean? And that's what he taught me in my path about when I was helping people and I was kind and generous and people just disrespecting me and his family members, friends, my story, all that. You know what I mean? That's when God will say, leave it alone. Now I need to teach them. Now I need to sow stuff in their life. You know what I mean? And, that's when people learn, you know what I mean? Is like, yeah, they have to go through some deep shit. Some people like me, and I share my story, didn't deserve that, okay? But then there's people that actually sow that God's sowing it back into their life that actually deserve. Because you reap what you sow in this world. What you put out is what you get back, okay? Anyway, so I'm read the key characteristics of earth angels, and we are real. Yes, we are. And we seem like some people, like, my story, I noticed that because I would do my thing and heal and pull back and heal, and I'm just so focused on my relationship. I'm focused on my journey, you know what I mean, and helping people. Like, I don't have time to focus on these small little petty behind me, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm always out of the business. And I noticed that too when as I was learning who I was in this world. Even at jobs and stuff like that, I was never in the drama. I was never okay. I was always the one bringing positivity, teaching the lessons, telling people that you know what I mean, like, and bringing the love and the positivity. You know what I mean, everywhere I go, and just like signs of of being an earth angel, being a light, being the chosen one that called to break those things in your bloodline. Let's see, kindness and compassion, big one of me. They are known for their deep empathy and genuine care for others, often going out of their way to help those in need. Yes, and I'll talk about in another video, but people-pleasing spirit, all that stuff I had to break, okay, in my healing journey as an empath to be where I'm at now. Now I have balance, what we call balance energy, where he taught me how to love, but from overflow cup. Okay, you should always give from your cup has to be overflowing, not when it's full, because that cup your cup has to stay full all the time. You need to give from the overflow. Okay, he taught me this, okay, because I used to deplete myself, but you should be overflowing, then give from that. Okay, always keeping your cup full, okay, because that means you're loving yourself, you're maintaining yourself. If you can't do anything for somebody, you simply say no. Sorry, I can't do that. Bye. You know what I mean? Like, your cup is full. But when my cup is overflowing, whether it's energy, finance, whatever the situation may be, I don't mind helping if God tells me to help. You know what I mean? But when my cup is just full, I don't help. I don't help nobody. You know what I mean? I got to keep my cup full. I got to keep myself happy. I got to keep myself loved. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you become bitter and nasty, angry, because you've depleted yourself and you're giving from an empty cup. You get what I'm saying? And I learned that, you guys. Okay? A spiritual connection. They have a strong sense of spirituality and may feel a connection to a higher power or divine energy. We are really close. When I tell God something, that's why you got to be careful with me. if you know what I mean. And again, I'll share with my narc story, a lot of gossip and talking stuff. That goes fast. I mean, instantly. If someone says something about me, my angel's like, slap. Who and what? What are you saying about her? No, she's over here doing my work, my Lord's work, honey. She's not even entertaining your nasty little attitude. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot we do in this world and no one sees. Like I said, the hero does not come in a form of cape. It's really real. A lot of stuff I do behind the scenes, and to God, I love what I do, you guys. And I don't, go and post videos or do that, out there. And we'll see what God leads me to. But I just generally love. I go out there naturally, it comes natural to me, and the Lord will lead me and prompt me. Not just every single person, but God will prompt me all the time. You know what I mean? To go here. I want you to pray for this person. You know what I mean? Or and this person doesn't even know. It's like, how did you know? Like, a lot of people are like, how did you know? It's my spirit. I tell them. I said, I've been doing this for so long. I'm just naturally good at it now. You know what I mean? And they'll just start crying. It's like, I'm really going through this, or you know what I mean? And prayer is very powerful. It's a very caring thing for somebody to do that. I've had so many people say thank you so much, and it means so much, especially come from me. You know what I mean? Ooh, sorry, I felt the Holy Spirit, because I deep, like, I care and there's not a lot of people that's like us left in this world, I genuinely still care after all the stuff, you know. And we could talk about the devil and all the enemy in your life try to make you bitter and hateful, and God's like, no. I went through so much stuff, and it made me stronger and more beautiful, more radiant, more my aura, my light is just more stronger because I went through, you know what I mean? And I just even feel like more like I got my wings, you know what I mean? And because of all the stuff I went through, and still chose to choose love and kindness in this world, you know? And even when I was being beat down, you know, and by nasty people that are insecure, jealous, you know what I'm saying? And so, but I still chose that love. I still chose to love and pick myself back up and not to treat these people. Yes, I'm going to speak truth. I'm going to speak in power, but not, I put people down. You know what I mean? Return that nasty energy back to them. A desire to help. They are driven to alleviate suffering, spread joy, and make a positive impact on the world. I love that. I remember I started off with nothing, you guys. I was homeless. I had just lost my mom. I had so much healing to do, so much mental health, so much things, you guys. I remember that day, you know, and I was in a building, and that's a whole other thing we talk about churches. And I was in this church, and I was just starting my journey. I was like so broken, you guys, so broken. And I didn't know what to turn to. And I remember in my spirit, you know, again, this is when I started journey, because the spirit led me. And there's a song I put, Spirit lead me where, and I'll have to post a little bit on here for you, but I remember that song, him giving me that first song when he was leading me on the Greyhound, and I lost $200 in my suitcase. And anyways, I was in this church in the beginning, and I was so like, you know, broken, but I felt something leading me, you know, in the beginning. And I went up to this, I saw this broken girl. And she just came in, and she had a really short skirt on. She looked like she'd been through some stuff, maybe sexually abused or whatever. And anyways, and so I just felt this heart tug on my shoulder. So I went up there, and I'm new. I don't know. I'm just starting my healing journey and stuff like that. And I laid hands on her, and I just started crying. And before I knew who I was and all my gifts and my spiritual. And I just started, like, I felt her pain, you know? And again, I just started weeping. I could touch somebody and not be in that pain, and then started weeping because I feel like I'm stuck in their pain. It's one of my powerful gifts. That's why I'm sensitive energy. And so, but anyways, and so I just started praying, and I just started weeping. And I remember, and then guess what? Some Pharisee spirit, which I learned later on in life, she just went and took, like, somebody that had been in this church for 20 years, that she just entitled, heart's far from God, okay? Took my hand and went and flew it off, like interrupted what God was doing. I'm telling the Holy Spirit was surrounded by us. But she felt entitled, okay? And I went to the pastor at the time, or this, you know, there was multiple different pastors for different things in the church, and just felt entitled, like she was better, like she was like more, you know what I mean? And this is where, you know, in the beginning of my, you know, what God is teaching me and showing me in this world. And but anyways, and it really broke me. It really made me feel, you know, not needed, you know what I mean, for God. And that's a lie, okay? It's a lie. You know, this is where God showed me when I went through awakening. And again, there's false prophets in this world, you know what I mean? And their hearts are far from God, and they're religious, and they're doing the religious works. But see, mine was deeper. I had a lot of pain. And God was using me mightily right there. And that's what I'm saying. God uses you, and he will use more than other people. They don't have the heart, you know what I mean? God uses because your heart, because you're passionate, because you're real. And that's when God makes moves for other people. And that's how I knew when I first started. I was like, you know, learning my gifts, and I was touch people because I was really sincere and passionate about it. And God knew it, and he changed their life by one touch of me. I'm not kidding you, because I believed. That person didn't believe. That person was nasty. You know what I mean? And this is where we talk about organized. I'm not a fan of organized religion. I've been through everything I talk about is I've been through it, okay? I watched it. It's been done to me. And anyway, so that's why I talk about relationship and not religion with God. You know what I mean? God doesn't want religion. Or we have to go every second day. I have more of a connection to God than some of these people in the church for 30 years that have been involved, okay? God knows my name because my heart belongs to him. So anyways, desire to help. Sensitivity. Earth angels are often highly sensitive and intuitive, picking up on the emotions and needs of others. I just spoke about that one. Not necessarily religious. This is so funny. While the term earth angel has spiritual connotations, it is not necessarily tied to any specific religion. It is more about a person's disposition and actions. I was crazy when I came upon this, and I was like, wow, it's so cool, because God keeps, when you keep seeking yourself out and you get to know yourself and you're mastering yourself, he really does show you in your life who you are, you know what I mean? And I'm going to say something. People are not born nasty and ugly and mean. They're taught that, okay? We're going to talk a lot more. Again, I'm very passionate what I've been through. That's why I share my journey and share everything I've been through. And God's turned that around for me now, right? It's so funny. I went through all this stuff, and now he's called me to lead. And you know what I mean? Like, and just to share my story. And I'm all about love in this world. I am. And genuine, and we're going to talk all about that. And I'm going to share my story. And I just have a very, very, I'm very a strong belief in that, and again, and then we're going to talk, yeah. So, but we're going to talk a lot more about that. We're going to talk about who you hang around with. Everything, every single thing, you know what I mean, matters, you know what I mean? And then what impact are you making? Are you hanging around people that are making you, a bad company corrupts good character. So anyways, but that's another one, like, who you hang around with. And that's, again, I can share that. I'm going to share that again. I'll share that video of my next story. So that's a perfect, I want to give you guys examples too. You know what I mean? Not just talk, like, and, but how this goes, you know what I mean? Like, and it's real in this world, and I see it so much, and God's like pushing me, like, okay, you need to share, and you need to open up, because a lot of people are going through this. And if I could give you into my guidance, like I said, I live a righteous life, not a perfect life. God, that's all God asks for, is our heart, and that we're treating people good in this world. You know what I mean? That's what he mostly cares about, and again, yeah. So I love you guys. Thank you for listening to me, and I'll see you on my next video. Okay, I'm gonna be popping another one right now. What time is it? Yeah. So I'll probably be popping like a couple more out here. I have just so much to say. I love you, and for all my new followers, don't forget to like and follow. If you're all about positivity and change in this world and bringing love and light, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate that. I love you guys. There's no judgment at this channel. That's why I share my story. I'm very passionate about how much God's changed me and transformed my life. And then sharing that and how he did that in my life, and yeah, so thank you again. I love you guys. I genuinely love you. I may not know you on the other side, but again, I have so much to share, even from my teen years, when I party, all my years of partying, all that, I have just a lot of wisdom that I've been through. And again, it's not in a judgment place, because again, we're going to talk about that. Maybe I'll do it on my next video, but I love you. I'll see you on my next video. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at. Bye.